Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
And I'm Obert.
I found my bottle opener.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
I'm very proud of you.
ignore that and come up with a better intro.
Oh, okay. I mean,
It's almost football season.
it's almost football season.
It's almost football seation.
Is that where we're going? Is that the one?
I know that you listeners are in the throngs of your,
Wake me up when September ends.
but then we'd already be in football season.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't have to hear about you talk about preseason stuff.
Well, I was just gonna let the listeners know that if they require any fantasy football advice, that they can head over to our Discord and they can ask a question there, and I will be happy to respond to them.
Okay.
And unlike past episodes, there are almost zero drafts on this episode, so that's a good thing.
Yes, except for draft beers, which we very rarely have on the podcast also.
Yeah. Also, not.
Do growlers
Not
count as
often.
draft beers?
I think I'm the
think
only
so.
one who's had a draft beer on the podcast.
Maybe.
No.
At Labyrinth?
I pulled it off
Labyrinth.
a keg.
Labyrinth.
Oh,
We
that's
went
true.
when we were at Labyrinth. We had some beers.
Sure, I did another brewery, or did Brewery Legitimus, where I had beers there too.
But enough talking about
I think-
football drafts. People want to hear about beer drafts. That's why they come to this podcast.
We had a beer draft once a long time ago. It was fun.
We did.
Was
fun.
it that long
It was good
ago?
stuff. I don't know. It was like probably 2 years ago now, right?
Well, we also did a beer draft when we were all in Connecticut in October this year, in 2020.
Real? Oh,
That's true. I won that draft.
When I had my beers from across the country, and I said, "You guys get to pick. You guys get to draft your beers."
yes. Okay. All right.
Different
I was
kind of
confused.
draft.
A bunch of drafts.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I dominated that draft.
Well, next time we have to go to a place with like 64 beers on tap and have a draft.
Ooh,
Ooh.
there we go.
Yeah.
I think we should have like an NCAA type tournament off.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
why I
we
said.
just
That's
can't.
why I said 64 because it's the perfect amount.
Right. Well, that's not a draft.
It's not a
then.
draft.
That's just
You're right.
We have a
It's
tournament.
fair. That'll be more of a tournament. But then the pun doesn't really work, so we'll have to figure that one out.
Well, all this talks about draft.
Is making
Todd.
making this a rough draft.
Ooh, there we go.
It's a draft we didn't think about. We didn't think about
the rough draft.
We're just a draft podcast from now on.
Yeah, that's all it is,
Yeah.
honestly.
Welcome to Drafting Alone with Drafty Drafts. The
Oh,
podcast
what about a
leaky
cool
room
breeze? What about a cool breeze?
where the heat is cranked
Shit.
up really high.
You know, it's drafty in here. Like, you know, like,
Or
What about-
there's the military draft.
oh shit.
Okay,
Damn
if this
it.
podcast is just devolving to definitions of the word draft, can someone please drink a beer?
It's beer 30, and I'm thirsty. I've been working like a dog all week long, so maybe something cold won't hurt me. Cause it's beer 30, and it's time to party.
Yeah, baby. All right, it's
Yeah.
draft
Indeed.
30, and I'm drafty.
All of these draft-alikes are making me thirsty. I don't know. Synonyms? Synonyms?
Homonyms.
Homonyms,
Definitions. I don't know.
Yes. Homonyms.
I'm just going to use the word alternative definitions.
All right, I got a beer. I have a beer that I want
Okay.
to drink.
Let's hear about it.
Hopefully it will help this podcast.
Is it called a draft?
Oh,
It'd be great.
wouldn't that
It'd be great if it had to do
perfect?
something to do with it.
Actually, I'm going to take a quick peek. Just make sure I don't have any draft beers in here. No. Worst intro of the year goes to episode 153.
Tough competition. We got to add that to the Mr. Oscars next year.
That's true. But I think this is needed now. This beer is, I mistakenly thought I drank all my Kiwi beers. This is my last Kiwi beer, I think officially. But it's called Serenity Now, which is a New England IPA from Resurgence Brewing Company up in Buffalo, New York. So
That's a good name for a beer to drink on this here podcast.
yes. So it's a New England IPA. I don't know, but it's like a clothed version of Bert Kreischer that like on the front of the can. I don't know if that's who it's supposed to be, but it looks like him.
I'm assuming that's the head brewer because it looks like a middle-aged white guy with a beard and graying hair, which I imagine what most head brewers look like.
Does he have a chest tattoo?
No, that's a T-shirt.
It's a T-shirt.
It looks like a chest tattoo.
Well, I mean...
Except he's wearing a shirt under it.
Yeah,
but it looks like it's like a see-through shirt, and you can see the chest tattoo.
For those of you listening at home, it does not.
Check the Instagram. Tell us if you think it looks like a chest tattoo.
I know one photo I will never post to the Instagram.
This is what I would post. Anytime I get a chance to prove Ted wrong, I will post a picture.
So, thank you, Kiwi. Like I said, I thought I drank the last one. Oh, shit. I dropped beer everywhere. Oh, no. I thought I drank the last one on stream last night, but apparently I had one more. I was like, oh, gotta drink this. It's already 2 months old. Gotta drink it.
So what is so special about this here New England IPA, Chris?
Well, I mean, it was given to me as a gift from a dear friend. No. I was actually looking at the can. There's not much that it says about it. It's just Resurgence, a NEPA, and it's got a screaming person that needs serenity now with some fun squiggles around it. So there's not really much on the can. So let's see what the smell and taste say about the beer as I try and wipe up some of this mess with my shirt.
And for our Seinfeld fans who listen, the guy on the can is not a character from Seinfeld. I can vouch. We're not like missing the obvious. It's not George or Frank Costanza. It's
it does not look like either one of them.
Yeah,
it does look like Bert Kreischer, but it's not.
Yeah.
Is that like a running joke from Seinfeld?
One episode. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where the title is from, or the beard name. I mean.
So, I mean, the smell of it smells like a New England IPA. I mean, it's got a decent amount of citrus aroma to it. I mean, pineapple comes to the nose, so hopefully it's that. The head has lasted pretty decently. I mean, we are, it's a little smaller, but it's not going away, It's holding on there. Long-lasting head. We like it. So, thank you. I like that beat. I really got to get that song on my iPod. I don't know what actually my Zune. Sorry, I don't have an iPod.
New ringtone. There you go.
No
one suggested that for me.
Can you really set that as your ringtone? That'd be awesome.
Text tone.
Because then you sit there and if somebody ever acknowledges it, you can be like, "How do you know this ringtone?"
Yeah, right.
So everybody else in the meeting has to keep a straight face.
I don't know what song it's from, but it's got a really good bass line. That's my favorite part about it. Yeah, let's see what this New England IPA brings to the table from Resurgence Brewing Company. So this beer's pretty good. No surprise. Loving myself a New England IPA. It's got some. I'm trying to pick out exactly what kind of citrus fruit up front, but definitely some citrus fruit. And then it kind of hits like a little bit of floral notes going into some bitterness at the end. So it's pretty nice. It's a little bit different. It's not quite your juicy juice bomb that you're used to when you get like a New England IPA. But it is very, very solid. It's a very nice looking beer if you were to see it. It's like your typical orange juicy color. But yeah, I mean, decent amount of bitterness on the back end, which I don't dislike. I mean, I'm a big fan. I wonder how. I know she sent it to me a couple months ago, but I definitely can taste a 6.5% ABV, which normally it kind of gets covered up a little bit, but I get a hint of that alcohol on the back, and that might just be. It might be at least a couple months old since she sent it to me. So. But I mean, it's a pretty good New England IPA. New York's not really part of New England, so they don't really know what they're doing. But
posers,
poseurs. But it's a very good IPA. I'm pretty happy with it. Not the best one I've ever had. There's definitely better ones out there, but I like the bitterness on the end, and the floral. I don't know what causes the floral. Some kind of hop in there. Unfortunately, I don't know the hops, but
it is Citra, Mosaic, Palisade, and Amarillo, all cryo hops.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay, maybe it's the Amarillo. Maybe that's coming out a little bit then.
Yeah, I trying to think or it's Palisades. I don't know what the hell Palisades is. I've never heard of that hop before.
Yeah, I've not had that one either. So. It's one of those two. I think Amarillo normally gives me the flowery vibes, but But I mean, it's a solid beer. You know, how many New England IPAs can you describe on a podcast?
We're at this rate several hundred, I think. We're working on it.
But I'm gonna give it a 3.75. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.75. It's solid. It's you know, worth trying, worth having. So there you go, 3.75. Thank you, Kiwi, for sending it to me.
Well, I can tell you that this is a relatively new beer.
Okay.
The first check-in was on May 23rd, 2021.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it only has 197 check-ins.
Ooh, that's a little bit high. Well, not high. It's a little bit the opposite of high. Low?
Low?
Think
It's a little
so.
bit unhigh?
Small?
Anti-high?
Few.
Anti-high.
Okay, so I think it's going to... I don't think it'll hit 4. It'll be close, though. I think it'll be close. Then again, it's a small number of check-ins, and, you know, those New Yorkians. I'm going to say it's a 3.97. I think it's a 3.97.
So you are close, but no cigar for you.
First two
No
numbers
hot
are
dog.
right.
390.
Dang. Well, okay. Overshot.
So, I mean,
That's okay.
Yeah.
Being the first person, you are on the board.
I'm on the board.
0.07.
Put it on the board. 0.07.
Before I put it on the
baby.
board, two things I wanted to say about this brewery is they have a 3.75 average on Untapped, and that's a 529 beers, which is an incredible amount of beers to have for one brewery.
That is a lot of beers.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Wow. They just pump them out. I mean, it's a good beer. It's a good beer. But yeah, there you go. So who thinks they can get within 0.07? I don't think anybody.
Oh, I
think
definitely,
you guys
I'm
just-
coming for it. I'm
White
on
flags.
a hot streak
two
from
white flags. I see 2 white flags.
a hot streak from the pregame here, so I'm coming for you for sure.
Are you ready to go, Obert, or do you want Tud to go?
I think I'll let Tud go for sure.
Okay. All right, Tud.
And if I'm drinking, well, you know that you're my friend, and I'll say, I think I'll have myself a beer.
So my beer today is a little bit of an interesting beer. I found it while I was digging through my closet a couple weeks ago, trying to find the oldest beer that I owned, and I said, "Oh yeah, I need to bring this to the podcast." It's pretty cool. It's a style of beer that we have never had on the podcast before. I don't believe, unless historian Obert tells me that I'm wrong.
If it's a Grodzitsky, you're wrong.
It is not a Grudzinski. It is a Gruit style ale.
Gruit. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, Gruit.
Huh.
This beer is called a River Runs Gruit, if you get the pun there.
I do. Great movie set in Montana. Watch it. A river runs through it, not
Run.
the Gruit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it says, long before hops were brewed with local... and the bottle says, long before hops were brewed with, local herbs danced with the malts, and early civilizations enjoyed the first beers. So it is in the style of beer before hops existed, or hops were used for brewing. It's a 5% ABV beer, 0 IBUs, and it's brewed with chamomile, rose hips, lavender, and elderberry.
Weird.
Yeah, it is. It's by Rock Art Brewery out of Vermont.
Oh, I like them.
They do some good beer.
Yeah, you've
this
had them
beer
on the
has
show
been-
before, I think, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this is their first entry. I may have had them before. I do like some of their beers.
I think it was something called like an American, like a red, white, and blue label.
I don't know. I can tell you this: I have not been to Vermont since this podcast started, and usually the only time I get
Well, you haven't been to Vermont since we've been recording this podcast? That's not true.
that is true.
Because you went up and talked to Sean Lawson and everything that we were doing this podcast.
No.
Yeah, I
don't
find
think
that
so.
hard. I find that hard to believe.
I don't think I've been to Vermont since 2017.
Well, you would know better than I would, but
'Cause
you have
we-
gone to
'cause
Maine
we
a
started-
couple times.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We started going to Maine instead. As you guys can see, it is very brown. It's kind of a little bit reddish too, but I don't think that comes across for you guys. But it is a little red. It kind of looks just like your standard style of beer.
It looks good in that
kinda dark.
Oktoberfest mug you have there.
Yeah, I wanted to add it into a mug that would be kind of reminiscent of the times where it was, a beer that people would drink. And I did some research on the Gruit beer.
Oh. Look at this little Tud facts for our
Oh yeah.
our podcast here.
So, gruit is an herb mixture used for bittering and flavoring beer, popular before extensive uses of hops. The term gruit and gruit ale may refer to a beverage produced using gruit. Historically, gruit is the term used in an area today covered by the Netherlands, Belgium, and westernmost Germany. Some combinations of common ingredients would be sweet gale, mugwort, yarrow, ground ivy, whorehound, which is just a funny word, and common heather. So
It sounds like a very strange beer, and I cannot wait to hear what it tastes like. What does it smell like? What are the nose flavors?
the nose flavors are very cinnamony, which is interesting because it's lavender, elderberry. I guess it's kind of maybe a chamomile. But it kind of smells a little like allspicy and a little cinnamony. Synonym. I can't say that word.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamony?
No.
No, it's homonym.
Cinnamony. Why can't I do this? Cinnamony.
There
Jesus.
you go. I think you had it right the second time, but you just needed more confidence behind it.
It actually kind of smells like if you had poured this for me and didn't tell me what it was, I would tell you that you just poured me a pumpkin beer. Like that's what it smells like.
Oh, okay. Perfect description. I'm there with you in the room now. I can smell it.
So the head has stuck around. Just slight head, but it's still persistent. It's hanging around. Let's dive in. It tastes very, very pumpkin spicy as well. You get a lot of that allspice. It tastes like a very spiced up beer like that. I don't get any rose hips. I don't get any lavender.
How about chamomile?
No chamomile. Maybe a little bit of chamomile.
How about chamomile? Chamomile?
I do think I get a little bit of the sweetness from the elderberry. I think that's what's providing that. Overall, it kind of tastes like a pumpkin beer. Like, kind of makes me sad because we have not reached Labor Day yet, and I'm already drinking a beer that reminds me of pumpkin beer. By the way, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, pumpkin beers have been released everywhere. So if you would like some for October, now's the time to go out and buy them and save them.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get much fresher, so you might as well just get them.
Well, that, or they could be sold out, and then you'll be screwed, because you'll want pumpkin beer, and you won't have any pumpkin beer.
I have my own pumpkin beer anecdote, but I could save that for later in the show.
I was just going to say, as you know, pumpkin beer is only allowed to be drank between October 1st and Thanksgiving.
Right. That's the official pumpkin window.
Yeah. We allow a little bit of overhang. If you got so drunk on Thanksgiving that you can't finish it, you have to finish all the pumpkin beer by that Sunday.
Right. Those football games, you're allowed to keep drinking your pumpkin beer.
Yes.
Like, for all you know, you hosted Thanksgiving and people brought a case of pumpkin beer.
That's true.
I can't expect you to drink a case on Thanksgiving. You could.
Well, I mean, you should in honor of our founding fathers, but
right. That's what they would want you to do.
That's what they would want you to do. I feel like as long as you are still eating turkey sandwiches, you're allowed to have pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
Like once the turkey sandwiches end, the pumpkin beer has to be gone.
I also think that you can start drinking your pumpkin beer as soon as the pumpkins that you're growing turn orange. Like that's the sign that it's like orange means go on pumpkin beer. Like if you go to pumpkin patch, you pick out an orange. I'd say, I mean, you pick out an orange. You've got a pumpkin. You're good
what
to
kind
go.
of pumpkin patches do you have out in Montana?
No, I'm just foreshadowing my beer. Let me say that.
Uh-oh.
Interesting. Okay. So I will say that the flavor or the taste is a little dry. So you don't get a lot of I just get a lot of that spice just hanging around, but my mouth is very dry, like you're drinking like a red wine of sorts.
Well, there's no hops in it, so maybe that's where the dry mouth is coming in.
There are no hops. It's pretty good. Not gonna lie, I like it. I believe years ago I did rate this beer. I have no idea what I rated it then.
Uh-oh.
I think you can check my check-in. I think it was like 2016. Like it's a long, long time ago.
Let's see. I'll pull it up right here. I have a check-in on 8/5/16, so almost exactly 5 years ago.
So way before this podcast.
Listen. Let's see how close you get first. Then.
That's fine.
Then we'll start
Now,
to
this beer isn't from the same batch as that one, is it?
Yes, it is.
So we're continuing to clean out the fridge at Ted's house.
This one would have been pretty far or pretty up my list of like oldest beers. Like there's older beers I still have.
Wow. You should start a museum.
No, overall this is pretty good though. I wish it had a little bit more. I wish it had hops. I mean, I think this would be a great beer if they had thrown some Citra or something in it. I understand that that's the entire fucking point of the beer. But it would be that much. This would be a really good pumpkin beer if it had like some Cascades or some type of bittering hop to it. But right now, it's a pretty solid drinker. Goes down easy. It's 5% ABV, so it's extremely crushable. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it, and it's got a shit ton of that allspice to it. Overall, I'm going to say it's probably a 3.75. I would drink this again.
Okay.
I don't know what I rated it back in 2016, but...
Well, I will tell you as soon as you... I'm not going to try and influence you on the average here, but I'll let you know once you give me your average rating, what you gave it before.
How
so
many
there
check-ins
are 2,800... I don't know. All it says is 2.8. So at least 2,800 check-ins.
Okay. I have no idea. I'm the man of the people. 3.73.
Pretty close. Wiping off that 0.07 off the board with a 3.67 at 0.06.
I beat it by 0.01.
allegedly. I don't know. I think he remembered from when he checked it in
5 years ago. 4.0 was what you gave it. That fateful August of 2016.
I mean, I remember liking it enough to say I should buy this and bring it home. I also figured it would never lose the top flavor because it's got no hops.
Right.
So it's held up. It still had carbonation. Still pretty tasty.
Nice.
I don't think it's a 4.0. Like I said though, if they brewed it like a normal beer, this would be a really good pumpkin ale. Hopefully that's how they're brewing their pumpkin ale up there. I remember the guy at Rock Art, by the way, being really cool. If this podcast was happening back then, he definitely would have signed up to be on the podcast with us because he was just super friendly and awesome and just a good overall guy.
Nice. Well, good job, guy at Rock Art, for making this beer. You did it. You grew it. It's great.
Ooh, you Groot it.
He Grooted it. Yeah, a little weird. I
Groot.
kind of want to try it. I'm a little dissuaded by the 3.67 average, but if Todd gave it
It's
a
not
4
that-
5 years ago
it's not that
and a
bad.
3.75 today, maybe it's worth trying.
It's one of those weird styles though that like Untapped is gonna poo on anyway. So you know you can't hold that to heart. You know, I actually think I looked it up and it was actually a 3.63 average. So
Okay, putting Chris back on the board.
I looked it up now and it's a 3.67.
I'm gonna log it in 50,000 times right now just to drive it down.
Apparently, I'm looking at it now. Apparently,
That's
they
what I should
can
start
it.
doing. They can it now?
Yeah,
Oh, it's not even the same beer.
Oh, so you had it in a bottle.
I had it in a bottle, but apparently they have
Oh,
it
wait,
in a
yours
can
doesn't
now.
even have the Rock Art label on it.
No, mine just had the Rock Art cap
Sticker.
on it.
Okay, huh.
Not
So,
even the same one.
I mean, this was back when Rock Art was like brand new. Like they were just starting out, and
And so the logo for Rock Art is the Pele guy. Just for those of you who know, it's like the little, it's the guy. Help me out, Todd.
the guy.
Pele.
Let me just type Pele art into Google, see if it pops up.
Pele's a soccer player.
I don't know what
I'm
I'm
really
thinking of then.
I'm really excited that they. I believe Obert with a name like Rock Art. I think it's probably a caveman, but I'm actually pretty excited to know that these guys are brewing this and putting it in a can because now I will be on the lookout to find this beer because I want to try it fresh and I will return to this podcast not to review it, but I will return to this podcast with it and just give an update on how a fresh can of it tastes.
That would be fun. I'm all for that.
Because especially now that I know it kind of tastes pumpkin-y, now I'm going to be on the real lookout to find this.
Have you guys had pumpkin beers yet? Or no, because it's not October 1st.
No, I have not had any.
Have you bought any? You haven't even stocked up.
Not even yet. That's my goal this weekend is I'm going to go around and I'm going to pick up some pumpkin beer and I'm going to add it to my beer collection. I also think I have some pumpkin beer that's left over from last year that didn't get drank. So obviously,
I'm very shocked.
So obviously I couldn't drink it throughout the year. So.
Right. No, I have not. Nothing. No pumpkin.
Yeah, when I was at the bottle shop, they had a mixed 12-pack from Elysian in that they were not breaking up, and it contained like 3 pumpkin beers I wouldn't want. So I was like, eh.
But you need a unique pumpkin beer for the podcast.
I know. Trust me. It's a problem in Montana to find pumpkin beers. I will keep my eyes out. I did see they had a bottle of the same one I had last year, the Phillipsburg pumpkin one that they had, which was not bad. It's like one of their special super duper barrel aged pumpkin-y ones, but I'd still rather have a shipyard, you know.
Do you guys not grow pumpkins out there? Like, I feel like that's something that you guys would do.
I don't know. I think it just is too cold at night here for pumpkins. I don't think we're great gourd growers in Montana, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have to take a trip to another state.
Maybe. I'm actually planning a trip next week. If my COVID test comes back negative, I'm going to be going up to Canada. So might be able to snag some beer. Return of the Beers from the North series. We'll see.
You know what? If you can't grow pumpkins in Montana, you know what the Canadians are famous for? Being less cold than Montana.
They're pumpkin beer. That's right. Everyone knows that British Columbia is famous for its pumpkin beer.
I mean, you might be able to get... What's that brewery up there that's really good? Collective Art. You might be able to get some Collective Art pumpkin beer, which I think they're out of Toronto, but it's Canada.
Yeah.
There's only,
It's
7.
Canada's
There's only
small.
There's only 7 people who live in Canada, so I'm sure that it gets shipped around. You might be able to get some of that, but yeah, I would be on the lookout for pumpkin beer if I were you.
Okay. I'll keep my eye out. Trust me, if there's pumpkin beer, I'm going to have it. But it is time for my beer review. I did not have a pumpkin beer. But as I alluded to, I do have an orange beer.
Mm-hmm.
Tud, play me in. I like beer.
I like oranges.
I like beer. It makes me a
jolly good fellow. I like beer.
It helps me unwind.
And sometimes it makes me feel mellow. No help on the chorus from you guys, huh?
I was hoping that Chris would do the chorus, because when it plays, I don't like to speak.
I thought Kiwi was going to do it, but...
oh, yeah. Damn it. Hang on.
I like beer. Da-na-na-na makes me feel mellow. Makes me feel mellow.
Thank you, new Tud. So this is the beer I have this week. It is called Orange Pearl IPA. I was staring at it earlier when I was talking about pumpkins, and it's a very orange can. It looks very pumpkin-y. You'll notice
it looks like an orange.
The background looks kind of familiar on this can. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this.
It looks like Julius.
Oh, wow.
Like they fucking ripped it off. Like,
so this is from Brigand Brewing. So,
like, they might get a cease and desist if Treehouse ever figured out that was like, it's legitimately the tree is blocked by an orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty well the same.
It's the same orangey, yellowy pattern for sure.
That's pretty awesome.
We're
going to have to put this on Instagram and tag Treehouse Brewing Company.
100%.
With a name like Brigand Brewing, I guess they're people who like to steal stuff. Who knows? It's from the town of Darby, Montana. Fun fact about Darby, I've driven through there. I stopped to get gas, and I also went into a candy store and got an espresso, because that's just the only place to get any caffeine in the store.
Wait, what?
I think I bought some candy, too, because, I mean, if you're in a candy store...
Is that the candy shop that you sent us a picture of that was like this
no
old German-style building?
That's in Phillipsburg, which is where I was talking about the pumpkin beer from a few minutes ago. This was a different candy store in southern Montana.
So what I've learned about Obert driving through Montana is that he stops to get beer, coffee, and candy.
There's actually a surprising number of candy stores in Montana.
I was going to say, and there's apparently a lot of candy stores in Montana.
I've bought candy by the pound from at least 3 places in Montana, which is probably as many places I've bought candy by the pound from in any other state. So
collectively between all states?
Yeah. They got a lot of the self-scoop things. You know, I'm a big fan of the gummy candies. You know, like love the giant gummy worms.
Yeah. Actually, a fun candy story, real quick.
Yeah.
Dana did a candy trade or snack trade with some Twitch viewer from Scotland. So we got our package today. We sent out all normal stuff that you send out that's American, and we got it today with like I don't know a whole bunch of stuff I've never had before. It was pretty cool. Pretty neat.
Wait,
Haggis flavored candy.
What is American like?
What can they not get over there that they wanted?
Right,
like Starburst.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
So they were really big things that they wanted were Cheetos. They can't get like flaming hot Cheetos.
Okay,
makes sense.
Did you send them Cheetos with E limon as well?
No. What else did we send them? We sent them. I wanted to send them Cracker Jacks, but I don't think they fit in the box. And Cracker Jacks are great, to be fair, but they are American. But they wanted biscuit Southern style biscuit mix. So we sent them some of that. The watermelon Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah. So and then some like gummy bears because apparently gummy bears over there can't have all the crappy stuff that we have in them that makes them taste good. So it's like
gelatin.
Not as good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But and then we sent some other stuff I can't remember right now. And we got a big box today of like just a bunch of different random like crackers and chocolates and like Cadbury, like actual Cadbury chocolates, which they're different. They're different over there than they are
Fun fact,
here.
I found out that Cadbury is actually not owned by Cadbury anymore.
No, I know. They're owned by
We talked
Hershey
about this
now,
in
right?
the pod.
Mondelez owns them. The same people who own Nabisco own Cadbury.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was... Who owns
They had
Reese's? Who's Reese's?
Well, that's
Mars.
Mars? So Nabisco owns Mars.
No.
Mars owns Nabisco.
No, Mars is separate.
Well, that's why they're like paired together now. Have you ever seen that they have the like Cadbury style Reese's eggs now?
That's just because they made them an egg flavor, but they're not Cadbury's. Reese's is something different, I think.
I think they're owned by the same company now. This is
we are not a candy podcast, so we are in unknown waters here.
If only we were sitting at like these like things that like you could like Google anything in the world. So Reese's is owned by Hershey.
Reese's is owned by Hershey, and I thought that Hershey owned Cadbury, but
no, Cadbury. I just saw it the other day because Nabisco went on strike. So I was trying to figure out what other companies may be affected, and I saw that's when I figured out that they owned Cadbury.
So I have a beer here. It does not look like Julius at all.
No.
It's very much a darker, almost like an amber color.
It kind of looks like the beer that I'm drinking.
Yeah, a little bit. But no orange
More
haze.
so than the beer that Chris is
I
drinking.
was definitely a little disappointed when I poured this. It doesn't smell that good. It actually smells kind of like... It has that like homebrew yeasty smell. Like that. What is that? The yeast that comes in the packet. It smells like the packet yeast with oranges. So I think I'm going to get a lot of orange in this Orange Pearl IPA, but not a lot of Julius. Let's find out. Huh. Well, I'm not blown away by this beer.
It's not a complete ripoff of Julius.
No, I'm a little disappointed. It has, like I said, that same... Is it Yellow Star? Is that the name of the yeast? You've brewed, right?
I'm not sure.
No. Red Star? I don't know. Well, I don't know exactly what it is, but it tastes like a home brew for sure. If I didn't know any better, I would say these guys are just like home brewers that scaled up a little bit. I'm not super in love with this yeast profile. It's just completely taking away from the IPA at all. This isn't an IPA. This tastes like a Belgian with how yeast forward it is for a beer. I'm really struggling to get the hop profile here. I don't know. This isn't a bad beer, but it's not an IPA. So that's why I'm really struggling how to rate it. Because like
it's not an orange beer for sure.
It is not an Orange Pearl IPA. I'm tempted to give it a 2.0 because of how off profile it is. But if Brigand Brewing released this in a bottle and called it their like farmhouse ale, I'd be like, with like notes of orange, I would give it 3.5, 3.75. But because it's tastes like this, I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't what this beer should taste like. I don't know. So maybe I'll average the two, give it a 2.75.
Okay.
I don't think I want to waste a lot of time talking about this beer because it's so just off. I don't know, Brigand. I think you're a new place. I'm not sure, but step up your game.
Well, I mean, they must be newer because this beer only has 45 check-ins.
And they only have 8 beers on Untapped.
So
doesn't necessarily mean that they're new. It's just, you know how things go
true.
in Montana.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I guess, what do you think those 45 people thought?
I don't know. What did I say? 2.75?
Yes.
3.66.
Damn. From downtown, dial 1 and the area code because that is long distance. 362.
Oh, wow.
Just nonchalantly throwing out .04, stealing the point away.
That's right.
Wow. Obert is...
Yeah.
I know. Obert has up to
He's going to pass Chris pretty soon.
For real, though. I'm only up by 2 now. Goodness. I'm going to have to do...
Last time I got my horizontal. This time starting my second set of 5.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. It's becoming a race, you guys. It's becoming a race. Obert got hot. He got hot as the summer heated up. So did Obert.
Well, the important thing is I'm blowing our guests out of the water, so they don't have any chance to catch up.
That is true.
Nice.
That is true. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
So while Obert was giving his review of the bad beer, just to circle back, Chris and I did kind of solve this problem. So
yes,
Cadbury is still owned by Mondelez, but it's licensed to Hershey within the United States.
Yes. So we were both rightish.
Which is why Cadbury chocolate tastes worse here than it does internationally.
Correct. That's why
that's
people
what I
bitch and moan about
understand. I have a bar. Actually, I have 2 bars of Hershey chocolate in the fridge right now that I am very excited to try. I've not had it from overseas before, so.
Well, you got to do it. Maybe you should do a Scottish candy segment on the show coming up.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea. That's a pretty good idea. Yeah, maybe I'll save a little sliver of the. Maybe I'll go out and get a Hershey Cadbury bar too.
Oh, and then you can do the side by
There
side.
you go.
Side by side. Yes.
Well, as we discussed in the pregame, if non-alcoholic beer is on Untapped and alcoholic non-beer is on Untapped, I don't understand why Cadbury chocolate isn't on Untapped. So
it should all be on there.
Everything should be on there.
Cadbury chocolate and Diet Mountain Dew has to be on Untapped. Yes.
I did not know this about Cadbury, but they used to also own Dr. Pepper and Snapple and Schweppes as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
And A&W.
Wow.
Huh. Learning a lot about Cadbury here.
Cadbury facts for the podcast.
I mean, is there anything better than a Cadbury cream egg? No.
Yes.
I'll answer that.
2 Cadbury cream eggs.
Ooh, damn.
But that's made by Hershey.
That's true. Well, that's why I got confused, because Hershey released the eggs side by side.
International listeners, if you hear the sound of my voice and you can understand what I'm saying, and you don't just think I'm speaking English to you.
Why would they listen?
Why would
German
they get like 40 minutes into a podcast they don't understand the language of?
Maybe they're trying to learn English.
I guess that's possible.
All right. So, anyways, if you can
Probably
hear the
not
sound
the
of
right
my
podcast.
That's true.
Did you hear the homonym synonym thing earlier?
I want to find an international person who can send me a Cadbury cream egg from overseas, because I want to know if they're better or are they worse.
Just like
or do they
outside
even
the
make
U.S.?
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm going to Canada next week. I could just eat one.
That is true. Well, no, I want you to send me one.
Nah.
I want to eat.
Do a candy trade.
Yeah, I'll
They're
send
all
you,
the rage nowadays.
I'll send you Connecticut.
Do you know how expensive
candy.
it is to ship to Scotland?
I was curious. I wanted to ask that.
Oh my goodness! We sent so don't go UPS, FedEx, any of that. Not even close to worth it.
Mail.com.
We sent USPS flat rate.
Mail.gov. Okay.
They do make cream eggs abroad.
Oh, I am intrigued by that too, because that's my all-time favorite candy.
Let's fucking go, international listeners.
And it cost I think it was $67 to send a medium flat rate box filled with candy.
And that was the
chips.
cheapest.
And it was the cheapest. UPS and stuff was over $230. It was crazy.
That's ridiculous.
I know. I was and they when we got their package, it has the 12 euros. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
What are we even doing?
I wonder if that's up because of COVID, because there's obviously the shipping problems and all that, and we're also not flying internationally as much as we normally are, where they can throw some mail on planes as they go across the ocean. So that's a special flight that you basically had to pay for to get over there. So maybe in
you basically
5 years when COVID is gone,
a third of a plane ticket with that package.
I know. Could have just brought the candy.
Yeah.
Packed a bag. Could have seen Scotland for the price that it took us to mail a package. But it was cool. Maybe Tud's right. I didn't even think about that. Maybe there's restrictions on all that fun stuff. But it was expensive. I was like, damn. We wanted to send a large one. A large one, $108. It's like, no, thank you.
Holy shit.
Pass.
How much was a small one?
$40, something like that. But you can't fit much in there. They're pretty small. So, anyways,
damn U.S. government taking their
I
fees.
know, right? Taking our fees and making us wear masks, and I don't know what other trigger things can we put at the end of the podcast.
And so with that, we'd like to thank you. I'm going to cut Chris off before he goes down a rabbit hole.
Cut the mic, yeah.
Well, it's that time of the episode where we honk for our fateful guesser writer, which is me this week. Manliest of the people.
Hang on,
Obert.
I got you. I think.
Honk, honk, honk. Honk, 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 honk. Honk, honk, honk. Honk, 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 honk. Honk, honk, honk. This is the new Obert version, right? Honk, 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 honk.
Thanks, Jordan. But speaking of Jordan, take it away with our favorite theme song for our show, our Frosty Mug of Wisdom song.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Mug of Wisdom!
Drink.
Mug of Wisdom!
Okay, it's that time for our Frosty Mug of Wisdom where we fill it up. Life advice, hacks, things we like or love, products, people, places, things, nouns. I am man of the people, honk, 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 honk. Obert wins. And as man of the people, I get to pick who's going first, which I'm going to start off the podcast this week with Tud. Tud, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so I've got an app that financial advisor and co-host of the show, Dan Champagne, introduced me to, and it's an app called Yotta. You guys heard about this app?
Is it with a D or a T?
T, two T's. Yo. Well, it is spelled Yotta, but Yotta.
No, I haven't heard of this.
So basically, what it is So I should start out by saying that I am not an investment professional. I do not give investment advice. My thoughts are my own. Blah 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 blah. But it is
a blah 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 through a disclaimer, Todd. I don't think that holds up in court.
It's been done.
You have to actually disclaim.
I don't know what the whole disclaimer is. This is why I'm not a professional. Do not, all right.
He's so unprofessional, he doesn't even know the disclaimer. That's how
people on this,
you know that you shouldn't listen to it.
Hang on. How does the disclaimer go on the podcast listener? People on this program may have interest in stocks or may have interest in things that they talk about, and professionals may have differing opinions. So do not use this podcast to make investments. Use it merely for informational purposes. Anyways, Yotta is basically like a savings account.
Hang on. I'm taking notes for every investment I'm going to make based on this podcast. Okay, keep going.
So basically, it's an FDIC insured savings account that you open up with Yotta, and what Yotta does is they run weekly like lotteries, and every day at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a lotto number is drawn, and you get a set number of tickets based on what your balance is in Yotta. So, for example, if you have like $1,000, you get like 44 tickets. Each day a number is drawn out of your 44 tickets. If those numbers add up, if you get 3 of your numbers over the course of a week, and it's 7 numbers in a week, then you get 15 cents. Anything above 3 matching numbers, you get even more money. If you happen to get all 7 numbers right, plus the Powerball number that's on Sunday, you have a chance of winning $10 million.
Wow. So it's like, instead of them paying interest out to everybody a little bit at a time, they just pay all their interest to a couple people.
Well, they also pay, they pay more than a standard savings account. So, for example, I opened it on Friday. And from Friday to today is Monday, I have made 25 cents on my $1,000 deposit. That's more interest than I've gotten out of my actual savings account in probably 3 years. So it's just a way of kind of having fun and kind of convincing people to save and leave their money in there. And obviously, if you do direct deposit or a bi-weekly transfer or a weekly transfer of money in there, you get more tickets into the lottery. So, as you add more money in there, you also get more tickets into the lottery as well. So by signing up for all this, referring people, you get even more tickets. So at the end of the day, I have 251 tickets in this week's lottery. So each day, as at 9 p.m., my tickets get checked off, kind of like a normal lotto drawing on the TV. But you also have a chance of winning $10 million. So who doesn't like that?
Nobody. That's who.
So I expect after this week, when I win my $10 million, then you guys can all do it. And then you guys can also win $10 million. Mm-hmm. But we'll leave a link in the show description in case you guys are interested. Have at it and sign up for Yotta and make more money than your actual savings account at your bank. Because there's no savings account in the world that would have given you 25 cents over the course of 3 days.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to take the Frosty mug from here. I'm gonna steal a handle from Tud, adjacent handle from Tud, because Tud has been in my handle space all summer long with his hiking handles. He's been all up in them, and I'm super excited that Tud's getting more into hiking, but makes me a little jealous, and I want to do a hiking handle. So,
sorry, that's my domain. You can't do it.
So
TM.
Mine is going to be to a brand of hiking boot, which I'm a big fan of. I've put a couple 100 miles on these boots at this point. I just bought my second pair, and they are a Montana brand, which I'm very happy to talk about, which is Oboz, O-B-O-Z. They are designed in Montana. They are like hand-stitched by 70 people or something like that is what the box claimed. The pair I have, I think it's the Bridger series. They are waterproof. They have great ankle support. They are everything that I want in a hiking boot, so much so that I recently replaced them with the same exact pair, same style, same size. So they're good because I went through a whole pair and wanted to get another one that was exactly the same. So I said, why not? And they have a great warranty, which is nice. They'll cover any issues you might have. If you put a lot of stress, strain, damage on your boots, they got you covered.
For how long?
I believe it's 1 year, but if you contact the company 14 months or something like that, they'll probably help you out. But yeah, I had no issues with my boots for the first year or two. It wasn't until year 3 that I needed a new pair. They're definitely not trail runners. I think they might make some lighter weight options, but I liked the full size boot to keep stuff from getting into my ankles, and like I said, the ankle support and the waterproofness is always good. So Oboz brand hiking boots, take it from someone who hikes a lot, puts a lot of miles on my hiking boots. I can't recommend this pair enough. Check them out, see if you can find them in a store near you. Otherwise, oboz.com, their domain, find them there. Chris, handle it up.
All right, I have a pretty awesome one today. We actually, I have a recipe for everybody. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A recipe.
So we were browsing the TikTok, of course. That's where we get all of our resources nowadays is TikTok. And there was a guy who was bragging about the absolute best air fryer wings that he has ever made.
Okay.
So
You've intrigued
I
me.
was intrigued. Yes. So I was like, you know what? Wings sound pretty good. Let's make them tonight. And let me tell you, they're pretty damn good. And they're really, really simple. So if you have an air fryer, get yourself a pound of wings, and I'll link, I guess, the TikTok video. I don't know.
I'll link to your grocery store with a 1 pound package of wings.
There you go. Yeah, get a pound of wings, and all you do is a tablespoon of flour, salt, and whatever kind of seasoning you'd like. We use like a brew pub seasoning, just chicken seasoning, and then the next one I made with like onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, red crushed pepper, things like that. So, but you can kind of be a little, if you like it a little bit hotter, a little bit sweeter, whatever, you can add things to that mix. There's no set mix. It's more so the frying style, I think, is the real winner. And basically, so you put the pound of wings in the air fryer for at 250 for 20 minutes. I suggest if you're doing a larger batch, like we had like pound and a half, I think, to do a like maybe 280 for like 20-25 minutes, just for more chickens. Then you take them out of the air fryer and you let them rest. Let them rest for like a good 15-20 minutes.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I think I saw this TikTok.
And then you throw them back in the air fryer.
Let me guess, is it for 8 minutes?
Yep. At 400 degrees for 8 minutes. Again, if you're doing a little bit more, it might be 8 to 10. I take them out and I shake them. You can tell when they're nice and crispy. And then when they're done, throw them in a bowl, toss them in some sauce. We did a sweet and spicy Sweet Baby Ray's and
Nice.
Something else. And man, I tell you, like, we've made wings before at home, but none of them have come out this good. Like, they were like restaurant style wings. Like, they're so good. Like, we ate so many wings tonight. And so if you're looking if you have an air fryer at home and you haven't quite perfected a way to make a nice crispy wing in your air fryer, and have them taste delicious and have them be done like just perfectly, check out the whatever in the bio, maybe TikTok link, whatever it may be, because they were so good. So
is it like a
fan.
dry rub that you then sauce?
Kind of, yeah. So you don't like. I guess there were comments. I didn't read the comments, but I guess people were frying, saucing, frying again, and then saucing again. So kind of like J. Tim's,
like dirt style.
Like dirt style, but we did not go that far. We didn't want to have to clean up that big a mess in the air fryer. But yeah, it's kind of like it. Basically, you air fry the wings in the flour and the whatever seasoning you use. You in that specific way, and then you just toss them in sauce. And I tell you, they were really, really good. I was like, we got to make these way more often. They're so good.
Well, if there's anyone I trust with wing recipes, it's you, Chris. So
thank you.
I'm intrigued.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I hope our listeners take you up on this handle, because I want them to make great wings at home.
I was surprised how good they were. I was like, oh yeah, these are baller.
I think the key, if I remember correctly, to that video was to make sure that the wings were like patted dry.
Yes, yeah.
Like, you don't want to put wet wings in there.
Yeah, that was true. You have to make sure that they're patted dry. Yep. So, but yeah, I'm telling you, they were best wings I've had, like made at home. Like, were those? They're so good. Good barbecue sauce helps too, of course, but like,
And so with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. We'd like to thank the breweries who provided today's beers. I will go first and thank Rock Art for their A River Runs Gruit style ale.
I would like to thank Resurgence Brewing Company and our good friend Kiwi Cadota for the Serenity Now New England IPA.
#NewTud.
And I want to thank Brigand Brewing. And I want to thank Brigand Brewing for their Orange Pearl IPA.
Please make sure you head over to social media and follow us at DAWF Podcast and hashtag follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Please make sure you're also heading over to the Discord and participating in the conversation over there. Obert, can you update us on the polls from 2 weeks ago? I know we had Paul last week from The Hairless Dog, but I know you had listed some conversations over there.
That's right. We asked people for recommendations on ringtones and whether it's cornhole or baghole. Didn't get much progress on the ringtone recommendations, but we did decide it is definitely cornhole.
Okay. So, come on over, participate in that conversation, help Obert pick out his new ringtone. Also, come over there and let us know if you find this River Runs Gruit beer, or if you're an international listener, I want you to go over there and you can tell us if you get Cadbury eggs and if they're better.
If you want to spend $70 to send us Cadbury eggs, please let us know on the Discord.
Well, it's only $12 for you guys to send something to us, but we'll have to send something back. That's not $67 US. I don't know the exact exchange rate, but it's not 3x.
No, it's still like $18 though.
Please make sure you head over to iTunes and subscribe. Make sure you're subscribing and leaving a 5-star review, and also make sure you're telling your friends to subscribe as well. Share this podcast around, and don't forget to hop into the Discord. One last plug for that Discord. And if you have any fantasy football questions, go in there and ask me, and then just hit the little @ and comment, and we'll be good to go from there. And I'll help you out with any drafting questions you have. Also, please head over to Patreon, and for as little as $1 a month, or less than 20 cents a week on months with 5 weeks. Hint, hint. September's a 5-week month. You get an extra episode of Drinking Alone with Friends every single week as we do a pregame episode. This week, Obert drank an interesting beer by Founders that I think you guys will all enjoy.
Here. One thing we should mention, we are going to be having a modified schedule the next couple weeks. Expect to see maybe some off weeks, some of your favorite guests, maybe a new guest, who knows. But we're going to have some various absences the coming weeks, but we're looking forward to being with you all together soon. But in the meantime, enjoy the podcast.
I believe our next episode that we'll all be together, I want to tease it. Chris will be in Connecticut.
I will be in Connecticut. I mean, who knows what the lineup's going to be? We have people hitting up the email every day. J-Lo and
Joe Rogan.
Kanye.
Joe Rogan was not happy about that podcast title, by the way. He keeps on demanding to be on the show, but we haven't
Joe Rogan.
responded to that one yet.
Listen, we gave you a rub already, kid. So we don't know if we can quite do it again. But there's plenty of people begging to be on the podcast. But I will be in Connecticut towards the end of September, and there will probably be some fun Tud and Chris live segments or something, shenanigans. That will be a ton of fun. So I'm very excited for that. That'll be good.
And so with that, my name's Tud.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
What type of shenanigans can we get into?
So many. I don't even know.
Beer
Shenanigans.
Say shenanigans one more time.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.